action.
Hey, I'm Rebecca.
I am
Right.
Terrie.
Hi, Terry. And Terry is the owner and creator of.
Beaux Magique.
Yes.
And Rebecca is the fantastic reader at Rebecca Spirit. Get a reading. Do it now. Just shut up. Pay the money. It'll be worth it. I assure you.
And then go buy all the things I tell you to buy over at Terry's because she knows what she's doing. And whenever I light up her stuff or use her soap, things just happen. That's it. Get
What
it
you want me to
done.
do?
Get her done.
Yes. So we are here today to just talk at y'all for a while and see what's going on in the world.
What a world, what a world.
Yeah, if you pour some water on me, I promise I will not melt, but I kind of want to. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kind
No,
of
I
want
require a lot of water right now, a lot of water. I need to wash some things away, but gonna I'm gonna leave that alone.
it's a whole different thing, right?
As a whole thing, it's a whole thing,
It's a
but
whole
very related to like what we were talking about people listening and folk doing what they're supposed to do.
yes, yes. As I said in a previous conversation, and I'll say it again for y'all. Um, People have been living like this witchy lifestyle, this whole reuse everything, go back to the herbs, wash your hands, do this whole ritual cleansing thing. We're kind of a little bit ahead of the curve in this current crazy world that we're living in because we're already used to baking bread ourselves and not relying as much on store bought things. We already know how to like repair our shoes and skirts and clothes and things like that. Like for myself, I'm an apprentice aromatherapist, so I already know how to make my own skincare, all my own stuff. So I'm not that dependent on not being able to get out because of all of the craziness and sickness in the world. But I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, and I work with so many people from so many different backgrounds, and because I'm always quote unquote on and I see people's spirit, I'm constantly washing my hands anyway, and I'm asking people not to touch me.
Yeah.
So and yes, part of it is germs, and the other part of it is I don't trust your spirit near mine. Thank you very much. Have a nice
And
day. Stay 6 feet away. We're good. We're super
yeah,
good.
and that's a thing, right? We there's so many people people who like follow the love and light, beautiful path, and they always want to hug you, they always want to touch you. But spiritual hygiene is a thing, right?
Such a
You
thing.
can't just let anybody in your area, in your aura, because you don't know where they've been. And sure, they could be a great human being that just came in contact with several of the wrong people, and now they might pass that crap on to you. Hard pass. No, thank you.
Big hard pass. I don't need it, so we're good. People used to always want to come in when I worked in public and would be like, "Oh, can I hug you?" And they'd be like, "Oh, she's so mean." Okay, but I'm still here though, and I'm
Yeah.
not worried because I don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Marjorie, Babs, and Jean touching me. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
And let's be real, y'all. I'm in my lab usually all day anyway, so the current quarantine is not that big a deal for me. I'm home all day anyway. I'm always working. If anything, I need to basically like make more lotion just for myself because the whole hand washing thing, even just inside, is just insane. My hands are basically raw from doing all the washing and all the cleaning and all of that stuff as well for myself. This is just for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Well, I'm out in the world, so this was a little different for me. And But, again, that whole adjustment and again, knowing things. And I said this to somebody last week. You need to get ready and you need to make sure that you can do everything you need to do online and find out who your people are, if they can do things online and get yourself ready. And they were nervous and stuff. And I was like, there's no need to be scared. You just have to be prepared. It's like somebody that was talking to me this morning and said, "Did you see what my astrology said?" I said, "Yeah." And it said she was going to be worried. Okay. So it's just telling you that this is the possibility of things that are going to happen. So and when you get worried, go, "Oh, yeah, no, I knew that was coming." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about sitting in it.
Yeah, like for me, a lot of the anxiety that I see, and I get at times, is only because I don't know what to do and I don't know how to react. Like none of this is in my Hogwarts manual. Okay, it's not in my witch kit from Sephora. Sometimes you just don't know what to do, and that's when anxiety plays a part. But you already know what to do. Really, do your energetic exercises. You're not going to work anyway, so now you have time.
Okay. Oops. Wait,
Me,
Terrie.
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there you go. Mm, I'm just saying. Anyway, this is the time to do that spiritual homework because you're not going anywhere anyway, maybe. Um, and I'm not saying that this is the time to basically knuckle down and just produce, produce, produce because you're not doing anything else. But this is the time where you can get to those things where you said, if I had 5 minutes to myself to do this, well, now you got basically 2 weeks. Where's your excuse?
Yeah, and I
Now,
think part of this is the big collective asking for time to just stop and wishing things were slower. Well, here you go.
congrats.
And that's not to say that the tragedy and all of the things that are happening isn't real and the fears aren't real. Absolutely 110%. But use the time wisely for what it is. You are being asked to stay at home. It is a very different idea than what our grandparents and great grandparents were asked to do.
Right.
So sit at home, do your work, do what you need to do,
Hmm.
and it will all be okay. It will be okay.
Well, like I was telling you in a different conversation, um, a while ago I was teaching a class on playing card divination, which was really cool. Um, but one of the things I talked about was that when these little playing card books came out, the world was recovering from Spanish flu. No one went anywhere. You just had time on your hands. What did we do as a nation? We cooked, we sewed, we played cards, we taught people to read. We did everything at home. We're just doing this again, people. We're doing this again. Yes, self isolation can be really, really hard if you don't have the tools in place to deal with it. And I'm not talking about just entertaining yourself for 2 weeks, it is about literally healing yourself. So, as many of you know, and Rebecca gets on my crap on this all the time, is that I work a lot.
Oh,
I
what?
I don't know what you're talking about. I work
Hmm?
a lot and I don't stop working. This week, this past 7 days, I had to force myself to be idle because my brain and my spirit literally needed the downtime. I just couldn't do it anymore. I reached out to my spiritual therapist who reached through the screen and smacked me around a bit. It was great. Oh yeah, I totally got butthurt on that conversation. It was great.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
because yeah, leveled up and more homework. All right.
So
Um,
fun.
it's so fun. But then, here we are at the end of like, my 6.5 days of forced idleness where I had to basically make myself not do anything. I have a better idea of who I am as a person and when I'm actually bored or when I just want to create something, because those are two different things. Realizing that I'm bored, okay, that means I don't stress eat. Um, that means I should go
I don't know
clean
anything
something.
about that.
Right? I don't know. I should go clean something, and maybe I should just, do some self care. So I got my hair done, which you can't see, but that's all right.
It's
You
very
know,
pretty.
it was
I
it was
saw
very
it.
pretty. I'm making myself, a foot cream because I can do that now, and it's fantastic. So yeah, I'm doing all those if I only had the time things for myself. And I'm looking around at all the stuff I could be doing. I got a basket over to the side here that has tons of fabric in it that I was gonna make clothes for myself. It's great, it's fantastic, but I would still be producing. That doesn't feed my spirit. Feeding my spirit is looking in the mirror and not hating what I see, because that's a whole different thing. And basically saying, you know what, Terrie, I think you're pretty awesome. And I love you so much that I'm gonna make this really expensive, like, shower lotion for you and just drench you in it. And I'm like, well, okay. Thank you, Terrie. That's the best thing ever. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing with the downtime. I've been looking through all the treasures I have. How many of us just have rooms and rooms of stuff that we've been collecting, but don't really know what we have anymore? Because that's a whole thing, right? And when you're a spiritual person like we are, oh my God. So it's not just, I got this thing on an adventure. It's, I got this thing on an adventure. It's been blessed by the gods, and I can't get rid of it. But now I have time to at least sit and talk to it, figure out if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
actually for me or if I'm passing it on to somebody else. That's a whole different thing, right?
yeah. And, you know, I recently moved into my blessing house that I asked the spirits for and they gave to me. And I'm super grateful, but I never unpack ever. Anybody that knows me outside of life knows that that's who I am. I just travel everywhere and I never unpack because I'm constantly moving. So I got told I need to sit still. Oh, ironic. And so I've been unpacking and setting up the altar room. And today I went to look for some stuff and I unpacked another box. And what did I find? My animal cards I've been looking for like literally a year. They were in a box. And like, that's the thing that spirit has been saying to me, like, okay, we need to get some things done. There's some stuff that we want you to do, you know, set up this time with Terrie, do the podcast. I want you to do this, start working on this. A couple people know some secret things that are in the closet, getting worked on. And, you know, so I'm excited about those things. And I finally got some time to sit down and like really do those, as well as the other stuff that I do outside of my spiritual work.
Mm-hmm.
And having that time and space to breathe and to function in it, that's when I looked around today at my spiritual friends, my friends who do the work, who are crafters and practitioners, and they're all fine. We have moments. We have absolutely, of course, we have moments of like, oh my goodness, you know. And I myself, I went shopping and I was like, I'm gonna go shopping, and but we're okay basically because we're like, oh well, now I have time to do this. Oh, I can do
Mm-hmm.
this, you know, and oh, I have more space for clients when they need to talk to me, you know, and creating that time and space and having that has been a precious thing rather than a fearful thing of what's going to happen on the other side.
Right.
Because spirit has not failed me yet. I have been in some places,
It's been a thing.
but I've always been pulled through. And so I think that's the most important piece of this whole crazy virus pandemic that is literally taken over the world. So it's not even like, oh, we're a mess here in America, but Canada, they're fine. No, we're all in this together, which also, High School Musical,
Mm-hmm.
my students were supposed to do that. They're not going to be able to do it. We're trying to figure out how to make that happen for them. Everybody that knows me knows I have a little prince. He is not a happy camper right now, but we're working on it. You know, but like all of us being in this together, we're looking at this and going, okay, we are in a collective pause. So sit there, be in the moment, figure out what it is that you're supposed to do with your life. What are you being called for?
Right.
And set forth and do that. Make the
Right.
foundation now.
And the other thing that we don't realize that we're they try to teach us this, but we don't realize is that resilience is a practice.
Yes.
But there is no certificate at the end. There is no graduation. It is still a practice. So if you haven't been practicing your resilience, you might not be okay right now. And that's fine. It's not okay right now, but it will be okay. And that's what we have to keep telling ourselves. So we have to remember to practice that resilience of, okay, when I get overwhelmed, how do I deflake myself? Because that's a thing. I have a list of how to deflake Terrie. Number 1, has she had coffee? Number 2, has she had food? Number 3, is she thirsty? And after that, well, start with addressing those things, and 9 times out of 10, I will start to calm down and at least be able to quantify and verbalize what's going on with me. But we also we'll have to have these things for ourselves. And as spiritual people, we definitely need to do these things because I don't know about you, Rebecca, but I have been in those situations and those rituals and those celebrations where, excuse my French, excuse my Cajun, but God shit is going down, and I'm the only person who knows sort of what to do. And if I
Yes.
don't do something, it's all gonna end in tears. Been there.
Yes. 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 And some that's a really good point of one of the other pieces of this, that there are these death groans happening from these karmic past things and these people trying to hold on to old ways, and their death moan rattles are getting louder and trying to attract people and pull them in to suck up their energy before they go. And if you actually have been practicing what is real,
I'm just saying.
then you'd be okay and you wouldn't be having this death rattle and
Hmm.
screaming out to the universe and trying to reenact old behaviors. You would know better and you would know what you're doing. So in those moments there, yes, I have been in those places where I'm like, this is a shit show. Who are you calling in? Why are you wait, what? Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'm just gonna sit back and let my spirits just do their thing, and I'm just gonna, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and this is one of the few things that a lot of people don't realize about what we do and just the sheer volumes and the sheer mass of the energy we're talking about. When you're talking about like karmic debt and past lives, as long as we want to go back to those past lives, they will still have power. I don't know about you, but I am not interested in reliving my ancestors' flight to freedom. Trying to think about, oh, in the old days, my great great whatever it is, had this and this. Well, yeah, she did have all those things, but at what cost, right?
Right, right.
Right? And as much as I probably was a warrior in my past life, war is hell. Don't want to go back. Thank you for joining my TED Talk. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's really about taking those things, those lessons, again, take those lessons and bring them forward, but don't go back.
yeah,
You don't have to go back.
yeah, and some people want to go back because they're full of this romantic idea of, yes, I was back in my past life. I was this lord, and I had a harem, and it was great. No, it wasn't. It wasn't really. You probably had that harem because it was your job to repopulate the freaking kingdom because everybody died,
Everybody dead, it's your turn.
right? Right? So, right, so you just gotta be a little discerning about what you're doing. And like this is the time where people are going to find out where that twin flame that you magicked and conjured so hard, they might get on your last nerve and one of you might be a shallow grave. So there you go.
Again, be
If
careful what you wish for.
right, if you've basically magicked and called for that soulmate and they finally show up, fair warning, people, I have my soulmate, and probably 3 days out of seven, oh my, it drives me absolutely bonkers. Love him to bits. Probably will never leave him because I love him so much. I still just shake my head at him, going, What? No, I have to walk away. And I have to walk away from him. But he's still my soulmate. But I knew that going in. I knew that there would be rough days. I knew that there'd be rough months. But in the long run, in the years and years and years, it'll be fine. And this is
Yeah.
what, 2020? So I think we're at 18 years this September.
Oh, blessings. Hmm.
18 years this September. And I'm sure there are days where he just wants to basically pack me in a box, stamp it Abu Dhabi, and walk away.
Ah!
Pretty sure.
At least you're going
because
somewhere good.
I don't know. I'm brown and Abu Dhabi. If I lip off to the wrong person, I would disappear.
I mean,
No, thank you.
well, that's. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes,
All right. Yeah.
bad
No, that's
times.
okay. Yeah, that's
But
fair.
yeah, so so we have to remember that if we've wanted something, it's going to come. And that's what I really think that a lot of, not just the current pandemic that we're in, but a lot of things like across the world, socio-political, socio-economical, we've been getting to this point where we have to basically take a step back and say, all right, this is the bed I've made. Now what do I do?
Right. Right.
Because if you don't want to lay in that bed, guess what?
And I highly suggest to people that if they have been doing work and trying to recreate things and opening doors and pathways to the past, even past lives, not even this timeline, I suggest that you close them and end that out. And because the karmic cycle is coming to an end whether you like it or not. So you can
Right.
either hold on to it and hope that it works and do it, or you can go back and keep repeating patterns that don't work for you and hurting you and hurting other people around you. So, we have the ending coming. Saturn is moving, karmic cycles are ending, so it's your choice. It's up to you. Go or get dragged, and Terrie knows, as well as my clients know, I come straight shooter, no chaser. Like, this is it. So it's going to happen one way or the other. You're either going to feel terrible and be dragged through it, or you're going to be like us and be like, okay, this is uncomfortable, but all right, I'm just going to settle in and let the ride happen. So,
Well, and
the choice is really yours.
and the other thing is that if you're going to open doors to past lives to try and recreate that stuff, one, it's super selfish because you don't know what hell you're going to put other people through. And number two, it's not going to work anyway because the karmic cycle is going to end. So you're wasting your bloody time. Knock
Yeah,
it
yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah,
Just,
yeah.
I'm right. Just I well,
Got a little time. Got a little time. It's okay.
well,
It's okay.
I am a great supporter of Scrooge McDuck. You got to work smarter and not harder. Some things you just don't want to do because it's extra work. And who wants to do that? I'm a Taurus. I like being a lazy Taurus, but sometimes it doesn't call for it. If it's going to cost me more work, no thank you.
Yeah. And I
I'm,
have
I'm
to say, as a Virgo, I mean, I like organization and cleanliness. So making things messy super doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me at all. I don't like it.
well, and you also have to remember that there are people out there who will try to definitely take advantage of that slight OCD thing and deliberately make a mess in front of you in hopes that you clean it so they don't have to work.
Hmm. Boo.
1 star, unsubscribe, do not recommend.
Do not recommend.
Well, they're emotional manipulators, they're psychic vampires. We know these people, and they often mistake our kindness and our compassion for weakness and a resource that they can exploit. And they're gonna be real sad when when Saturn's finally done moving and the well is dry. Not only is all the milk gone from the cow is like, you know what? I'm out of here. Greener pastures, 3 provinces away. Thank you very much. And then they're gonna be mad.
Yeah. And, and I say this constantly, and I don't think people really understand it when I say it. And I realize that part of this sounds self-defeating, but it's truly not. The whole reason I created Tools for Your Toolbox is I want you to use the tools that I teach you how to use and use them for yourself. You don't need me. Pick up the hammer, bang the nail, and leave me out of it. I don't need to come to you to rescue you to do that. You have it within you. Stop second guessing yourself. One of the first times that I ever did a mediumship reading for somebody, I tasted haggis and I was like, haggis? Like, I've never had haggis in my life and I will never have haggis. Don't anybody send me a minute. No. And I was like, what is this? And this cannot be real. Like, I was totally flipped out. But I had to trust it and roll with it. And I was like, your great grandmother was like, is there a haggis recipe that like passed down through the family? They were like, oh, yes, oh my goodness, and went off. And I was like, yeah, so okay, so spirit, first deal, we're not sending me foods I don't eat because that's real rough. Like, whisper it, give me a little, just a thank you. That's one. And two, check the box. Even if it's really crazy sounding, start building that muscle of trusting yourself.
Yep.
Again, you don't need me. You can do this. There are certain things that you will need me for. Yes, it's like getting a manicure, doing your hair. Anybody who knows me knows I don't do this. I have a very lovely woman who does my hair for me. We're super tight. She's been with me through a lot of things. I've had a lot of things. And she does my hair. But right now she can't do it. But I can. Trust and believe I will be downstairs in my house doing my hair when I have to because I can't get to her. That's the whole point. You have to know how to do these things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to build those muscles and do those things because we're not always going to be around. I'll be back because I'm always getting sent back to this godforsaken rock, but it won't be the same. I won't be able to help you.
And I've said the same thing over and over and over again. Do the energetic exercises. Learn what the magic feels like because there's going to be a day where you will have no tools. It's just you. And then what you're going to do? You're going to cry because you don't have your hematite? You're going to dash your tears everywhere because you don't have the perfect altar set up? If you've done it at least twice, you can use that imagination of yours, the imagination that keeps inventing all of these love lives that you think that you've had in the past, and picture everything in your mind and then do the same work. Because that's what it's really all about, manipulating your own energy to get this stuff done. But what do I know? I know nothing. My name is Jon Snow. I know nothing. But that's all right. Because it's happening right now. At this point in time, because I'm a diabetic, it's not wise for me to be around other people. So that means there might be a delay on your order. There you go. You can still do this. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But what do I know? Yeah. I don't know anything, apparently.
Oh wait.
It's a whole thing. But
no, I'm telling you.
But I can only say it so much. I can only gnash my teeth against this rock so much. So when people come to me with their problems, the first thing we're going to ask you is, are you doing the exercises every day? And then...
So what's one of the exercises that you do? Let's give them some of the tools that we use.
The tools. The big one is grounding, centering, cleansing, and shielding. So, grounding. Grounding is not just sending your energy into the ground. It's not just that. Imagine, if you will, all this past winter, you're walking around in your wool socks and you reach out to touch something metal. Zapow! You are discharging excess energy that you don't need. Grounding.
Ta-da!
Centering. Any of my chakra people and Reiki people know that you have to basically align your energy so that it's all working together. It's one thing to basically have all of this beautiful blue lapis, thank you Seditious Jewelry, at my throat, but if I don't have my crown and my third eye and my heart and my sacral and my root and all the rest together, this means nothing. Right. I would just spout off at the mouth and be groundless, rootless, and super flaky. You gotta have the whole thing running. Again, if you're gonna have a car, you have to have all the wheels aligned. Otherwise, steering is going to be not pleasant. So, grounding, centering. Cleansing. Cleansing is a thing because in everyday life, we touch things that other people have touched. We encounter things that other people have put their energy on, and we kind of get it on us. almost like washing your bloody hands during the pandemic. So you have to wash that off. You have to cleanse it. You have to energetically cleanse all of that off your body from every chakra, not just the big seven. You have to cleanse it all off so that you are pristine. You know what your own energy feels like, because a lot of us don't. We're so used to basically swimming in, spiritual muck that we have no idea what it feels like to be clean, what it feels like to have a clean slate to work from. And so next is shielding. Shielding can be difficult, but it also can be extremely easy. Easy as, I don't know, putting on clothes.
Putting on your covers.
Putting on your covers. If you can go outside in winter, and I'm in Canada, and you're in like northern New York, so winter is not fun. Would you go out there in a bikini?
Not so much.
Not so much. You're going to put on layers. You're going to put enough protective clothes to protect you from the elements.
Right, and I think when we lay it out that way, it really is easy. And I think that's the thing that we've been trying to get to for so long, that this really can be easy. This doesn't have to be difficult stuff. The thing that I would add to that is communing. I have now space that's a whole room for my altar, but before that it was in a tiny corner because I lived in an apartment. So I had my altar, and I had my ancestor altar, and I had my spirits altar. And each week I clean, I talk to them, I go to them, I give them their treats, and we have this whole time together, and we use all the elements, and we do all of the things. Every single week, period. Because two things. One, you need time with yourself and with your spirits and your people. Whatever you practice, you're going to need time with that stuff. So for us, part of that is going to our spirits and our ancestors. So for me, I have a whole space for them, and I talk to them. Talk to them all the time. I probably talk to them more now than I did when they were here, because life, right? Yeah. And your spirits, and cleaning that and keeping that clean, and also again giving yourself that energetic time with them gives that reciprocation of relationship. So I spend the time with you. I study, what is it that you like? I remember, I honor you. I do these things. So when I come to you and say, I need a new place, and this is what I'd really like to have in it, could you do it? Because I literally sat at a traffic light before going into my superhero day job, and cried and said, this is what I need. And 2 weeks later, they gave it to me. Because I built an honor and reciprocate that relationship and do those things. And then communing with your community. I wrote today, I don't fly with flies that sit on poop.
Yep.
Me and my flock, we are pie enough. We look down and go, oh, that looks messy. Okay. So we go, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
and we keep moving.
Peace out.
That's it. We don't do this mucky stuff on the bottom. And when you look around at your community, if everybody's not trying to lift everybody up, you're in the wrong space. Or that's the space you're looking to be in. I personally am not. So I want to honor all the people and be with all the people that are doing the big things. Not because I want to ride on their coattails, because I want to have that energy around me. I want to do my work, and I want to honor that work.
And that's the way it is, and if you think about it as part of the community, every week the community takes out the trash. There's even though there's a pandemic, the garbage man comes by. Are you going to sit in all of that energetic filth, or are you going to take out the trash? Up to you.
Yeah,
it's up to you. I am not going to sit in filth, thank you very much. But hey, some people, that's what they look for. They like basically that dirty energy, and you have to leave them to it. We cannot save everyone. When big things go down like this, if one, you should save yourself because that's just the way this works, and you
Hmm.
can maybe reach out to one person, maybe two, and that's all
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah. And that's part of cleansing. You keep your space clean by keeping your community clean.
Yep.
If you keep bringing in people who are messy, you will be messy.
Yes, and
That,
it is not your job to fix them.
right. So let that go. Stop it and stop living in mess and swirling in it and bringing it back to yourself. For what? What reason? What reason?
And then complaining that your life is messy. Yeah, there's a reason why I had to stop doing tarot readings for people, because I would lay out the cards and I'm like, all right, okay. Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Eight of Cups. Did you ask for this? And then Three of Hearts, Three of Swords. I'm like, oh, good God. And I can't. I just end up swearing at people and asking them, are they stupid? Because most of the time they ask for the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's a ancient curse that says, may you live in interesting times. Bad idea. A lot of people want to be a hero and you don't realize what that means. For myself, my parents were amazing human beings. My mother, hi mom, I love you, was beautiful and encouraged me to read everything I possibly could. Dad was an English teacher, so we did the whole thing. I learned about Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. The hero has a shitty life. I'm just saying, all right? There's a whole lot of drama that's happening. No, thank you. I will be an NPC on somebody's campaign. My script is super short, and basically I'm here to offer you a quest. That's it. I'm the cat sitting in the sunlight. Offer your quest, and that's it. Because being a hero is a lot of work, and it is unstable. And even if you get the reward, it may not be what you want.
Yeah. And so I will say that I was given that sort of mantle of having to lead people in that way. And I can tell you, the crown is heavy. You don't want it. Everybody wants to think that they want it because they're like, oh, look at that. Look at, No, y'all don't know. You have no idea what goes on to carry the shield and the sword. So if you want
Yes.
to do that, if you want to carry this crown, you are going to have to do the work that I do. And it's not easy and it's
And it's a
not fun.
trap. It's a
But
trap.
you do it because you're not built for it. That's the other thing. Know who you are. Know
Mm-hmm.
who you are. Stop trying to be other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't want
and
anybody to be me. And I don't want to be anybody else. Like I'm super good. Here we are. What do
hmm
you I love Terrie because I know exactly what Terrie does. I know who she is. I am not out here trying to make my own soap and lotion. No, thank you. I don't have that chemical understanding. I don't have that depth of knowledge of flowers and herbs and botanics and nope. But
But
I
here's
know
the
who
thing.
does.
And if you wanted to learn, I'll be more than happy to teach you. That's
Yes.
perfectly fine.
Yes.
However, don't go out to basically copy my entire line because I've given you chapters 1 through 3 of the Book of Terry. It's a thing. Just, I gotta breathe through it and try to tell myself it's that whole imitation and flattery and whatever that is. Whatever. Anyway, and here's the
My
thing.
favorite is when my sister texts me and says, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" Hi, sister, and mommy, I love you. But yes, when my sister texts me and says, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" And then it's exactly like my stuff, and I'm like, "You can try to carry the here. You want it?
Off
You
you
want
go.
it? Have fun." You,
Yeah.
and then
And
everybody always want to turn around and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
it's too late now. And
I told you."
and I did tell someone that. I'm like, if you want to do this, that's great. However, it just means that when I am too busy, you're going to get my overflow. And let me tell y'all think it's funny. Ha ha ha. Spirits think it's funny. Ha ha ha. when I say in joke, oh, just buy the whole table. Ah, ah, ah.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I was there when that happened.
And Rebecca will tell you, I stood there in cognitive disbelief, not even dissonance, just cognitive disbelief that my shelves were empty. And for a moment, the anxiety spiked because that had never happened before. And what was I going to do? I'm like, okay. Yeah, yeah. So
It's funny
Rebecca was
because
there the first
no
time
for
that
two,
happened.
you were like, oh, but
She was there the first time it happened. The second time it happened was recently. And I totally joked, ha ha ha, just take whatever you want, less I have to bring home. Ha ha.
I got that text message too, and I did the same thing. I just laughed. Sorry. It's funny.
I wasn't mad, but it was literally cognitive disbelief that on a weekend that was supposed to be super light, super easy, I'm just out making contacts because I don't know what the crowd's gonna be. No, gone. Gone. Everything was gone. And I just sat there and said, okay, cried all the way to the bank.
Okay.
Crying as I make another like supply order out of rotation because what is happening? Yeah,
Yeah.
so good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
A lot of fun.
But when you do the homework, when you are actually in tune with your energy, you're in tune with your spirits, you're in tune with your ancestors, you're in tune with your gods, there are times where you don't even get to make the spell. You just start the sentence, or you get lippy like I do, and I have not learned that lesson. Sorry, Crystal. I get lippy, and I say, ha ha ha, just do that, thinking that'll never happen. They got jokes. They got so many jokes. And the best one is like I have Sarah. Hi Sarah. Sarah W says it's sort of like a team, almost like a triumvirate, right? So Lou on this side is like, Terrie, I have an idea, and I'm like, oh great. And Bridget on this side is like, that's a terrible idea. And Donna up here is like, you should do it. I'm like, wait, wait, wait. And then Bridget just shakes her head. Don't mess it up. What? What? So this was before I met you, Rebecca, but that was the year, I think it was 2016, where it was January that year. I'd just done my solstice vigil, so from the 20th to the 21st, I was up for like basically all night. And in the throes of recovering from that, this one is like, Terrie, you know it'd be great? I'm like, here we go. If you just created one new product a week for a year, and Bridget just says, don't mess it up. What? What do you mean? It'd be great, Terrie. You're amazing. You're fantastic. You totally have the brain power for that. Okay. Yeah, so every week for a year, I created something new. That is not a brag. That is it's a trap. Do the homework. Don't be lippy.
But I have to add, I am so glad you did it because I have several of your things and I love each and every one of them. And so great. I'm super
Yeah.
happy that your spirits are all up in that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That is
Yeah,
great.
they're
That's great.
all over me like
So
white
fun.
on rice. And
Okay.
having this forced idleness upon me, basically saying, no, I can't do work right now. Brain and overload. They have graciously given me a break.
Mhm.
But you know them, right? They're like, so Terrie, when you're back, I'm just gonna like bookmark this for you because that's gonna help you with that project that you've been working on that you got stuck in a year and a half ago. Yeah, this is gonna fix that. Like, do I even have that stuff? Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because resilience is a practice and a whole thing. So when we're doing our spiritual work, being spiritual superheroes, we also have to remember that, okay, dear spirits, we have done the communion, you've given your offerings, I have praised your name, I've told stories. We have to work out some ground rules. I am in a corporeal body, and this body likes pound cake. So, y'all
Mm.
want me to do all this crazy stuff? That's great. May not happen. Good times.
My thing is, my favorite has been that I have 5 young people in my life that take care of me on basically a daily basis. And at first, everybody was like, "Oh, it's so cute how you have them." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know, and I love them. And oh, it's very squishy. It's lovely. It's wonderful." And you were the person that I talked to, where I realized why they were really there. That I was busy doing all this other stuff and giving all of this output and doing all of this stuff and being told all the things that I had to do. That they are there to support me on the other side and be like, "Oh, here you go. We love you. How are you doing? What do you need? Da, 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 checking in." Da, da. All of this. And so they all of these things come in these different forms, whether it is the downtime to rest and the space to rest, or going to the bank and making that whole deposit, or getting the space that you need in order to be okay to then do the service. But the things that we do to get there, and one of my favorites is when I am talking to a client, I'm like, and they're like, "You don't understand." Or, I mean, can you? And I'm like, "Oh no. See, here's the deal. I've already have to been through this 3 times before I'm allowed to talk to you about it. So
Hmm.
not only do I know, I understand, and I've been there.
Yep.
Next, do what I tell you to do, and you'll be all right. Just do it. Just do it. I have a moon in the 12th house. I'm an Aquarius moon in the 12th house.
Ooh.
I am so psychic. I just do what I tell you to do. And no, I don't have to explain anything. If I'm telling you to do it, just do it. Just do it.
Hmm.
And you'll be fine.
Well, and that's the other thing is that one of the things that's not in my Hogwarts manual is that as a spiritual whatever it is that I'm doing here, I always hesitate to call myself a leader because I'm like, look, I don't want to lead you anywhere but away from all the crap that I've already been through. But there's sometimes where we can't give you context. One, because we either don't have it, it's just a simple message, or two, if we gave you all the context, you still wouldn't do the work, and then you're just going to look foolish.
You just want to circle in all of the information. Stop asking me all the extras. You don't need all of the extras.
Hmm.
You don't need all of the things. Chocolate
Yep.
cake is chocolate cake. Use the 3 ingredients that I told you, and it'll taste really good. And then once you get that down, once you figure that out, then yes, baby, you can go and make the frosting and the sprinkles and the
Hmm.
flowers and anything else you want to do.
Hmm.
Get the basics down first. I don't have to
Yes.
explain anything else to you.
Right. So
Just
we
do it.
we learn all the rules first, and then once you have all the rules down, then you can break all the rules.
Yeah.
But unless you know what they are first, unless you have done the basic groundwork, that whole like red velvet cake with cream cheese icing is going to be out of your reach forever. Just make chocolate cake.
Telling you the crown is heavy, y'all.
Oh,
So do the work. Do what you need to do. Ground and cleanse and clear and center and reach out and do what you need to do. That's the basics. That's what we're asked to do during this time when we're in our homes and we are staying safe and we are trying to protect those that are protecting us.
yep. This is the resilience that we've been trying to basically smash into your head for years. It is now. This is the resilience that you need. And if you practice the things, I'm not saying be perfect at it, because I assure you, I am not perfect at it, and I'm technically a professional. I have been there. I've done that. I've almost set my house on fire twice. Um, but still, practice the resilience. You keep practicing, and you may not see anything happen in the first 24 hours, the first 3 days. It's not instant. It's not instant magic. Instant magic does exist, but this is not one of those.
Yeah.
There's a whole book on instant magic. We can talk about that later. Anyway, oh, it's good. It's good.
All right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop because we're gonna get crazy.
We're already
Ancestor
crazy.
stuff
That's
out
the
of nowhere.
point.
Well, that's true.
We're
Yeah.
already crazy. That's the fun part. But yeah, so practice the resilience. Keep it up. If you know when you're bored, know when your energy is bored and needs an outlet. Because while we're doing all this downtime, while we're all resting, our the batteries in our body are starting to fill, probably to capacity, and may not have been full for years.
Yes.
Which is where I am, because I've had a rough few years, where there was about a year there where I operated at a quarter tank for a year. It was horrible, but I'd had so much energy spikes and weird things happened that I just had to like drain my batteries all the way down. Now I'm operating at 3/4%, and I'm ready to basically just vibrate out of my skin, and when I get to 100%, who knows what's going to happen.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shh. Don't tell them. Let it be a surprise.
Yay! I hate
can sell
surprises. I only
tickets
like
to that.
surprises from one person. Only one person's allowed to surprise me. Everybody else, I don't know. But yes,
Still,
okay.
we can sell tickets to it.
Oh, yeah, for you, surprises. Yes, okay.
Because it's happened before, where I was in the right place at the right time, and all the batteries shot to 100%, and things went down. Some of it I may or may not remember, and I have a list of grievances. Excuse me. I have a list of negotiations that we need to work on with the spirit realm. Like, okay, number one, just no. My hours are 9 to 5. If somebody's coming to me after those hours, I better know them. They better bring me tacos, or there better be some money in my bank. That's just the way it is.
I mean, and so mine is no weird foods. There's no weird foods. And yes, like 3 o'clock in the morning, I know y'all are all up because you don't understand time and space here on this godforsaken rock, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to talk to you. And your great niece, she can wait till 11 o'clock tomorrow. Like she'll still be here. You don't need to wake me up. Like, so yeah, that was mine. And no popping in. They had a habit of liking to pop in and take no.
No.
Don't get to. No, this is mine. I rented it for this time period. Y'all can have it back when I'm finished.
Well, we also have to remember that especially our ancestors, well, one, they're dead, and two, some of them are bored. For those of you with small children, what happens when you have a 3-year-old toddler in your house and suddenly things get real quiet?
Mm-hmm.
And you start to wonder where the dog is, as well as the cat. And why all your Coptic markers and Sharpies are missing? It's a whole thing.
It's a problem.
So when you invite all of these spirits into your life, make sure that they are not bored with you. Make sure that they are basically being, I want to say used, but utilized. So it like if you don't need the whole host of the Fae to do anything for you, leave out your whiskey, leave out your cream. All right, y'all on vacay. See you in 3 weeks. Be free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, they will sit around waiting for orders, waiting to talk to you, waiting for something. And what happens if they don't get your attention? Mom,
they're gonna get it.
Mom. And then it's a poltergeist happening all over again. Things are breaking. Weird sounds all in the house. You gotta lay down some mouse traps.
Can't find things. It's a whole mess.
But then when you
that's gonna be our next topic, though. Our next
topic
is gonna be talking about not everybody in your family do you really want to deal with. That includes ancestors. Not all of our ancestors were fun. So, yeah.
Oh, that's a whole different conversation. Good God.
That's what I'm saying. So that's going to be our next topic. We'll talk
about that.
Okay.
That'll be our next topic. All All right, so thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Terrie, for doing this, because it was my idea and then my computer didn't want to work, so she recorded it for me because
And thank you, Rebecca, for having the idea and roping me into it. Much appreciated.
Yay.
See y'all later.